Are we going?
You're good. Don't worry. Are we?
We're going. Let's go.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to our giant pregame show presented by Sherwood Ford. Everyone's laughing except for Frank Saravalli. Party of five in here.
Stone
He's too professional for that.
Yeah, party of five, including Liam. There's a lot of people on the panel, but like the best people. Hey,
It's a
Liam,
shoulder-to-shoulder
We kicked the
Sherwood
boss
Ford.
out.
There's a
We
lot
told
of
him, get out of here. We don't need you anymore.
lot of meat on this end of the table.
Yeah.
It is hot in here. There's a lot of...
You're also wearing a sweater and a jersey and a cowboy hat.
That's true.
What's your alter ego called?
Cowboy Chris.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. All right.
Yeah.
The people love it.
The people love it.
As they should. It's an
We
energy.
like.
It's a
I went
vibe.
out to the pregame show, or not the pregame show, to the watch party at the Pint, and we had a good time.
You had
Maybe
fans.
that's nice.
The Cowboys. I can't. You know what? I hate to say it, but my son has baseball again, so we're gonna be done just in time to get the home for this beginning of the second period.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
yeah.
plenty of time. You're going to see the meat of the game.
Yeah, that's just it.
Yeah.
I feel it's a perfect time to plug what's going on tonight. Oilers Nation Watch
Yes.
playoff watch party at Pint on White. Am I saying that correctly?
Yes,
As an
you
Edmonton
are.
Rookie?
Pint on white.
Yeah, so I'll be there hosting it, 7:30 p.m. puck drop, and we'll be there. But I want to start this show off saying that I don't want to speculate, but I feel like Evander Kane watched our last pregame show and heard that we're waiting for him to kind of turn up the heat.
I think I said that.
You did say that.
And then that led Tyler and Liam, I think, to bet on Evander Kane to score a goal. And therefore,
cash.
That means they owe me money.
Yeah. Free money.
Well, how much? What's percentage?
I'd take a 10% cut. Just the
That's
juice.
modest.
Just the juice.
Hey, it
Humble.
paid out what, plus 180, I think is what I got it at. So that's it was a good night. It was a good night.
Evander Kane hat trick, guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think
unreal.
we're also learning about Evander Kane that he's probably a bit of a hand talker in real life. I mean, you had the 7 against LA, and then he did the little hat celebration when he scored the hattie.
And you
too.
noticed it was all smiles from Connor after that hand gesture.
Yeah, Connor was okay with that
I think
when he
that
got a
puts
pass.
to bed the him being mad about the 7. I
Yeah?
mean, I don't know. In my opinion, it does.
I love
They're
that
playing so
seven.
well right now. I think he'd let Kane do pretty much anything.
We were talking about that just a second ago. The Oilers, in my opinion, just played their best game. Draisaitl playing his best game.
Yeah.
We know that he's dealing with an ankle injury, 4 assists on the night. But man, from the get, I was like, this is the best I've seen the Oilers and probably the worst I've seen the Flames. And they absolutely capitalized. And I don't even know if Sutter at this point has an answer, so much so that our green screen's
falling
coming
down.
off.
It's a mess today. But honestly, I think that was the best. They were really good in Game 7 against LA. Like, it's either that one or Game 3 against Calgary, the best games we've seen from this team in the playoffs. And I get that like the McDavid line did all the scoring, but I thought the second line did a really good job of creating just scoring chances in zone time and wearing down the Flames. And I even thought that third line with McLeod, Fogle, and Yamamoto, when they were on the ice together, the shot attempts were 10-5 for the Oilers. So like they were dominating possession as well. Like a lot of the love went to that top line though, deservedly so.
Well, yeah, because the Flames don't have an answer for it, or at least haven't shown one yet. And I think that's, until they do, the fact that the Oilers, a team that had started so poorly, were able to come out and dictate the play and dictate the style of the game, it was really so unlike Calgary. If you watch how they played all season long, they were just in your face with that ferocious forecheck. And that first line had played so well that they really kind of had to defer and sit back. And when you can get a team on their heels like that, really it was right from puck drop that they asserted their will in the game. And that hasn't happened often enough, but I think it goes to show you when it does, how successful the Oilers can be.
And we talked about yesterday on Real Life just that this will be Calgary's pushback game. Like we imagine that we're going to see full force Calgary. They're going to come in with a whole new game plan. And I'm just wondering, what do you think it's going to look like? What do you think they're going to go back to? Just hard hitting? Like what are we looking for from them to see if they actually have their old game back? Because they look like a shell of themselves.
It would be aggressive. That's what I would think is that they're going to be aggressive and set the tone. But the other part of me thinks when you're playing against guys like that and you watch sort of what Tampa did against Florida, they packed it in. They dumbed the game down and they just sit back and just, make you wade through the muck. Make Connor and Leon, pick their way through it. The problem is they're infinitely capable of that. So that's sort of alarming. I'm really curious to see how Calgary comes out. You said it. The Oilers know that they're getting their best punch from the Flames.
Yeah.
And then what happens?
Yeah, like a team coached by Daryl Sutter is not showing up the way they did on back-to-back nights. And for the Oilers, from their perspective, and I wrote about this a little bit earlier today over on the site, like I think there's actually another level for the Oilers as a whole. Like obviously that top line did all the scoring, and I liked what they got from the second line. I liked what they got from the third line. The power play at least started to get some good looks as well, and they scored right as a man advantage expired as well with that Hyman goal. But I think, tonight, if Calgary finds another level, which we're expecting they are, I think that next level for the Oilers, and maybe it's my Yegberger keys to the game, you need some actual scoring now from lines 2 and 3, and that could help the Oilers, kind of counter what the Flames bring.
And they keep saying, I love it how every game there seems to be like the narrative that they want to push. And last game it was we're being beat by one guy. A lot of people really discounting the rest of our team, and especially Draisaitl. But the fact is their scores. We're beating them with 2. Okay, whatever. That's their opinion, but they're not beating us with anybody. Like their playmakers need to be playmakers. Gaudreau, Tkachuk, these guys need to step
200
up.
point scorers. I mean, you have 4 of the top 8 scorers in the league in this series, and really, aside from the Tkachuk hat trick in Game 1, and he was really good. Yeah. They've been really quiet.
I have this theory that Calgary kind of was playing playoff hockey in the regular season, and they peaked too soon, where the Oilers, right before the playoffs, were starting to play some of their best hockey.
Too. It was a lull, the lull that maybe we needed.
And now, thanks to Connor kind of going to that next level, he's not the only guy contributing to the Oilers, but he found another level to go to, which naturally brings his teammates up to that level. And the Oilers have been...
He's dragging everyone with him.
Honestly.
A rising tide lifts all boats.
Okay.
You've heard that?
Yeah.
Is that too old for you?
No.
What about you? You've heard that
I haven't. I'm sorry.
Oh, my
Cowboy
Chris.
Chris. I wish I could.
That is an old cowboy saying. In the
it?
prairies of Alberta. I don't know. No, it's probably something.
Not a lot of water out there.
I was just going to say. Oceanfront property in Red Deer.
Yeah.
But listen, you know what? I'm watching TV last night, and I'm sitting there, and I'm winding down for my night, and I'm watching Sportsnet, and they're doing a segment on Connor McDavid and what we're watching right now. And you sit back and you go, when you're having these moments in your life where you're like, this is exactly what I need to be successful, that it's happening right at the right time. We're seeing the best Connor McDavid we've ever seen. Oh. And if we weren't, we wouldn't be as optimistic as we are about this series. And it feels good just how they're talking about him, what we're seeing. And so, tonight, the first period, unfortunately, I'm going to miss it, but it's like going to be a telling period for me. How we withstand what I imagine is going to be their best punch.
Do you guys think it's odd that Sutter admitted to the media that the fans kind of got to his players? Like, I feel like as a veteran coach, that's an odd thing to admit to, because I feel like Oilers fans are now going to come out and maybe go 2.0.
Yeah. I think Sutter obviously is
it's all mind games.
Yeah, what message is he trying to send?
What he's sending to them is you need to be better.
Yeah.
The way you handled it was no good, and now we know it, so you're not hiding from it.
But do you not just say that in the locker room?
I mean, making it public has people talking about it.
We kind of talked about honesty, and he's being honest, right? Like, if that's what they say, is he the type of guy who's going to shelter his players from that kind of a thing, though?
No, I don't think so.
Or is he going to try to use that as a motivational tool?
I think he's just real.
I think he is too.
Just over in the Twitch chat here, an interesting question. Obviously, we all saw the Lucic play, kind of bowling over Mike Smith. The question was, who asked it? The Real Formal says, does Cassian go after Lucic? I think if you're the Oilers, forget about it. You don't need to get into those games with the Flames. Woodcroft used this phrase earlier in the series, scrum discipline. I think tonight you're going to need that. Don't let them get to you. Don't get sucked into those games, because if you're the Oilers, you're going to win this thing by outskilling them, not by outbeating the shit out of them after the whistles.
I don't know if I agree with you.
Really?
In the sense that, think about the one real advantage that the Oilers have had in this series has been, if you're going to the box, make sure someone's going with you.
Okay.
And if you're playing at 5-on-5, the Oilers have a clear advantage. They know it. The Flames know it.
You mean 4-on-4?
4-on-4. That's what I meant. If I misspoke, 4-on-4, Matthew Tkachuk was saying their guys are more skilled than our guys are. I mean, that's the advantage. And I think the Oilers have been fine with these, little after whistle scrums. And, as long as the refs are taking both guys, they're in a great spot. The problem is Daryl Sutter, and I had asked him about this specifically, was would you rather see them take one? And his answer was yes. Taking one guy usually, as the official, sends the message to the game saying, look, you're going to put your team in a bad spot if you do this again. And it usually cuts out a lot of the nonsense, but they've just been taking both guys a lot, and it's really benefited Edmonton.
Interesting.
I also like in that situation, I know there's been a lot of fans don't like Archibald in the lineup because maybe some other players are more deserving, but I do like the fact that he was the first one to Smith's defense when he got ransacked by Lucic. And he's not the biggest guy, but I think that sets a tone, and having a teammate who has your back like that, those are like little momentum changers that go a long way and earn the respect from your teammates.
What are the people saying for the reasoning being behind not having Archibald in? Because when I see him on the ice, I'm not expecting him to go and light the lamp. I'm expecting him to go and hit, and he's doing it, and he's causing turnovers, and he's playing, in my opinion, he's playing well, and taking him out would be a huge mistake. We need that. We don't have very many players that are running around putting people through the boards, and he's a small guy who does it, and that lifts everybody too.
Cowboy Chris for mayor.
Yes.
Well,
of
course.
I want to
Cowboy
bring
Chris
this
for
up.
mayor.
Sheriff. I want to bring this up. Chum744 in the Twitch chat.
Oh, Chum.
He brings up the video that's
doing,
been
Chum?
going around. It went a little viral today when Dustin Nielsen tweeted it out of the Flames players at the end of the game targeting Draisaitl's ankle with some slashes and things like that. Did you watch this?
I did not see
Okay.
this.
So
Well,
I
give me your
actually
take on
sent,
it, yeah.
Not a take. I sent
Okay.
this clip to the NHL, and I asked, are you paying attention to this? And they said, yes, we've seen it. They said, we don't think any of these 4 times.
3, 4,
There's another time in front of the net as well as you get to the end of the clip.
5.
Where it's clear that they're targeting his injury. They know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a joint effort between the Department of Player Safety, NHL Hockey Ops, and the series supervisor this round, who's Don Van Massenhoven and has been in the building every night. I am sure that the referees know about that heading into Game 4. If they see it, it will be called. They
How
didn't think that
scared
any of those...
are you, Calgary, that you're doing shit like that? That is such bush.
the playoffs.
Excuse my language. But that's Bush League. That was so blatant. 3 different guys with 5 different slaps.
The fact that it was so blatant is probably why the NHL has been made aware or is aware of that happening, correct?
Right. It wasn't like a one-off situation where you have a guy, trying to give him a whack on a face-off.
Mm-hmm.
It was,
Mine's frozen too.
they were in a spot where they had to,
Yeah.
they have to be aware of it now.
Yeah. That's interesting. Like,
doing the Lord's work.
yeah.
Sending it to the NHL, making them
Hey,
aware of it.
I'm more interested in the news. I didn't even get a chance to tweet it yet, so that's some interesting